You better start mowing your lawn, otherwise you could be paying heavy fines. Think about it. Imagine you're behind. Imagine it's your day off, and you're thinking, I don't even. Your lawn's going. I don't even worry about that. Then the city comes and gives you a letter fining you $500, and you're thinking, is this a joke? Another $500. Till fines go up, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go mow my lawn. Too late. The city's already taking your house because you refused to mow your lawn. It's exactly what happened in Dunedin City. That's what the city did to one person, and now he has to pay or mow the lawn. Here's John Stossel.
The city of Dunedin, Florida wants to take this man's home.
Because I was tardy cutting the grass.
Jim Ficken's mom died, so he went to South Carolina to take care of her estate. City officials then started fining Ficken $500 a day because his grass had grown longer than 10 inches. Such fines add up.
This is a letter from the city attorney demanding $24,454.
Now the fine's up to $30,000.
That's asinine.
Ficken's neighbor can't believe he was fined so much.
Just for grass.
Because Ficken doesn't have $30,000, the city says it will foreclose on his home to collect the fine.
I was shocked.
The town says you're kind of a public nuisance.
I got everything fixed and taken care of.
But you only get it fixed after they send warning after warning, the neighbors complain.
I guess I'm kind of a slob.
Why don't you just pay the fine?
$30,000. Do you have $30,000 lying around?
In every instance that the city asked him to do something, Jim did it.
Lawyer Ari Bargos defending Ficken against Dunedin.
The city has gone nuclear. $500 per day for the violation of having tall grass, and now he's facing the loss of his home.
Dunedin's politicians wouldn't talk to us. Instead, they paid $25,000 to this public relations firm to speak to the media.
The new PR manager costing taxpayers $25,000 for just 1 month.
The PR firm says Dunedin has no desire to impose large fines. Their goal is just to ensure that Dunedin's a high-quality community. But if the politicians only cared about the quality of the lawns,
They could have done what their own ordinances permit them to do, which is hire a lawn service to come out and mow the grass and send Jim a bill for $150, but they didn't do that.
They could do that.
They absolutely can do that, but they didn't do that, and that's because they prioritize revenue collection.
They want the money.
It's pretty apparent that code enforcement is a major cash cow for the city of Dunedin.
11 years ago, Dunedin collected $34,000 in fines. Last year, $1.3 million.
I got violated for a lawnmower in my yard. They violated me for a hole the size of a quarter in my stucco. They find people that they can pick on, and then they keep picking on them.
Dunedin put a lien on her house. They say she owes them $32,000.
I mean, I can't do it. I'm just sleepless nights I'm having because of the city of Dunedin. Just trying to think of what to say to them. Just like you have to leave me alone.
The city is just a bunch of bullies, and they expect people not to stand up to them, because to stand up to them requires expensive legal help.
Ficken managed to get that legal help for free from the Institute for Justice, a law firm that defends individuals abused by government. Its lawyers, portraying themselves in this video as Western heroes ready to punish bad guys, say many cities now pad their budgets by imposing excessive fines.
The North Carolina city fined a local church $100 a branch for excessive tree pruning.
Private citizens are being essentially extorted by their governments and fined incredible amounts of money for really, really small violation.
And if you can't pay the fine, they'll take your home.
The City of Dunedin Code Enforcement Board authorized the City Attorney's Office to file foreclosure actions.
The City Attorney of Dunedin in the last year has sought permission to foreclose on 18 properties.
That violates the Eighth Amendment, says the Institute for Justice. It not only protects us from cruel and unusual punishment,
but right next to that in the Eighth Amendment is a protection to be free from excessive fines. Our founders, they recognize that the ability to fine is the ability to cripple. And it's one of the ways, other than incarceration, that government can really oppress.
if governments can, they will. So we should be grateful for the Eighth Amendment. It protects us from excessive fines, and what's more excessive than politicians taking your home because you didn't cut your grass?
Wow. Common sense alert. Give me a break. I mean, take your home because you didn't want to cut your grass. I mean, if it's what the city wants and the city wants, but did it violate the 8th Amendment? They did. The city shall not make ordinances or state laws crippling. I mean, paying fines is like crippling people. You've got a crippled leg, you got to pay a fine. That's what it is. You're crippling people. The city is crippling people who haven't cut more than 10 inches of grass. I mean, if what the city wants, but they violated the 8th Amendment. But I'm not opposing what the state did. No state should have any laws saying about this and this. So what's the common sense here for all you homeowners? You need to mow your grass or you're paying fines, period. Or hire a lawn service that you can pay like $150, $40, $20. It doesn't matter. Just find someone you know that you can hire, mow your grass, and be done with it. Or buy a lawnmower and mow your own grass. If you're that lazy and you just do whatever you want, but still, you need to cut your grass. It's all that matters. Coming up next, our special focus, courtroom etiquette. What you can't wear, can do. Basically, all the do's and don'ts in a courtroom. Stay with us. Are you going to court tomorrow or the next day or the day before or months before? If so, this is a special episode of Give Me Rec for you. It's all about courtroom etiquette. Now think about this. You're going to court, it's your first time going to court, and you're sitting there saying to yourself, I don't know what to do. Well, thankfully, this special is just for you with some hints, tips, do's and don'ts that will help you along the way next time you're in a courtroom. We're basically focusing on the do's and don'ts of the courtroom. So it's courtroom etiquette, the do's and don'ts. The do's and don'ts include what to say, what not to say, what you should wear or should not wear to court. That's basically the do's and don'ts. Let's start off with what to wear to court. And to do this, we're going to do the do's and don'ts, what to wear and what not to wear, what to not say to a judge. Basically, all of this is from Law by Mike. So let's look at a few clips from Law by Mike.
Don't ever wear this to court if you want to win your case. Number 1, athletic wear. Just because tracksuit has the word suit doesn't make it the same. Dress to impress. Number 2, tattoos and piercings. You know you're super judgmental and pretend everyone in court is her.
It's my puppy.
Heavens, he's a degenerate. Cover with clothes or makeup as best you can. Number 3, messy hairstyles. The courtroom likes this, not this.
That's not the hairstyle, correct. This hairstyle is perfect. As for suit wear, this could be a vest, or you can wear this. But just make sure that the first button-down shirt you're going to wear is tucked in. Let me tuck this in real quick just to show you. Like this. You see? And then once it's tucked in, you can use this as your vest. Make sure it's long sleeve. If it's short sleeve, you don't have to wear tattoos. If you have a short sleeve shirts and you have tattoos on, just make sure you get a sleeve cover. That way, they won't see it. And always wear a sport coat or sport jacket to go along with it. That way they'll know. Hold on a second here. There we go. I'm all ready for court. You can also, if you have, let me show you one more thing here. If you don't have a vest and it's just something like this, let me take this off for just a little bit. If you don't, and if it's gonna be just like this, then loosen up the collar and go like this. Bingo. There you go. That's basically the way to wear a shirt. However, ties are very important. Bow ties, I would say that bow ties are acceptable. Just make sure they fit your size. If you don't know how to tie a bow tie, you can probably find some at Walmart or any place that some for like, I think, $2. Let me show you. Let me find. I think I have a bow tie here somewhere. Aha, there you are. Here's what you do. The 7th button, button this, lift up your collar, find where this is located here, like this, and then you can go here, and here, and you can either leave it up like this. What I recommend is you fold it down like this. Perfect. That's only if you're wearing a white shirt. However, if you don't know how to tie a tie, I think you can find some clip-on ties. You can go on Amazon or online before your court date, and you can find yourself some of these clip-on ties. They're like around, I think they're six piece ties for men. Basically, if you're right here, I think it's selling for like $10 each. You can basically just find your tie, and then once you find your tie, you can order it. But don't be wearing a shirt like this. See, I'm wearing a shirt untucked like this. It's uncasual. You can find, these clip-on ties, you can find pink. They're already tied. American flag, aqua green, burgundy, charcoal gray, chocolate brown, black ties, coal print, emerald green, black, golden yellow, lavender. There's red, there's blue. It's basically whatever you find. Going back to my original attire here, because I'm not a big fan of sports coats, so this would fit perfectly. Alright, here. I'm aware that I'm wearing XL. I'm like Adam Sandler, like oversized clothes. I'm aware of that. Here's what else you can't wear. We all know you cannot be wearing caps, no tattoos, no ear piercings, none of that. Let's take a look at another clip from Law by Mike.
Don't ever wear this to court. Number 1, pajamas. Court isn't supposed to be comfy. Come on, I wear this suit every day. You can wear one for a couple hours. Number 2, hats. The only team you should represent in court is Team Justice.
What about me, an old-timey journalist? I got to have my hat to report on this case.
You've been dead for over 50 years.
Just like print media.
Number 3, flip-flops. Nobody wants to see your feet in court.
Actually, I heard the judge does.
Okay, you should probably cover up either way. How about some dress shoes? What kind of a judge are you, huh?
Who said I'm a judge?
All right, buddy, time to leave. All right. Don't.
And last but not least, as for hats, don't ever wear a cowboy hat. Just because you're country, don't mean you gotta be wearing a cowboy hat. You are asked to remove your hat out of respect. But what about yarmulkes? Are they acceptable too? Yes. Yarmulkes are acceptable. unacceptable attire to be wearing. Here's the third one.
Don't ever do this in court or you'll lose your case. Number 1, don't exaggerate. Wouldn't you agree that starting fires is what...
Hold on a second. That wasn't that one. There's the third one.
Don't ever wear this to court if you want to win your case. Number 1, sunglasses. Sir, are those sunglasses medically prescribed?
No, Your Honor, I'm just blocking out the haters.
Oh, you just called the judge a hater. You want me to be one of your haters? Because it won't work out well for you. Number 2, hats.
No way, the Dodgers hat stays on.
A hat in court? So disrespectful. Jury doesn't seem to like it.
Fine. What about my yarmulke?
Religious attire can stay. Shalom. And number 3, athletic shoes. What are those?
Dead mean.
Well, you need to take court seriously. Wear dress shoes.
But if I don't have my running shoes, then I can't do this.
We got a runner. Bailiff. Don't ever wear this to...
So to review, no flip-flops. Slip-ons, if you don't want to tie your shoes, slip-ons are okay, but make sure they're the right color. As well, make sure they're the right color. Make sure your shirt is tucked in. So let's review here. No hats. No hats such as a cowboy hat. A baseball cap. A fedora. The only hat is acceptable if you are Jewish is a yarmulke. Shirts. No shirts that have no shirts that have people something saying like I love tattoo, like I love drugs and alcohol, whatever, so and so this and this. I think here's another one.
Don't ever wear this to court if you want to win your case. Number 1, sunglasses. Sir, are those sunglasses...
But that was the same. So yeah, basically, don't ever be wearing something. Don't ever be wearing something to court that will make it be a distraction. Basically, don't ever be wearing shirts that say "I love drugs and alcohol." No tattoos, no piercings, no beards, no nothing. Now that we've figured out what to wear to court and what not to wear to court, coming up, the things you should never do in court, say to a judge or in front of a judge or whatever. Just basically things you should not say in court. Stay with us. Welcome back to our courtroom. Welcome back to our Game Break special, Courtroom Etiquette: The Do's and Don'ts. Now that you're focusing on the do's and don'ts of what to wear and what not to wear to court, let's focus on what to not say to the judge the next time you're in court. And if you're going to court for the very first time, or if it's a repeat offender, or you just don't know what to do, this special is for you. So if I were you, I'd pay attention right now. If you're going to eat some popcorn while you're at it, do so while you're taking notes. There'll be a quiz on this later. Maybe so. Take a look at what not to say to a judge.
Never do this in front of a judge if you want to win your case. Number 1, don't give up info you weren't asked for. Did you know your company was engaging in unethical practices and falsifying tax returns?
Well, I'd like to start by saying the company is not unethical. Just last week we had an ice cream social, which, that's pretty nice, right?
Ugh, bro, answer the question. Number 2, don't bring young children into the courtroom. Sir, the child is causing too much of a distraction. He's gonna have to leave.
No, he's my sympathy prop. I mean, I love my son.
Number 3, don't make definitive statements unless you're 100% sure. So you did not approve any of these expenses, correct?
No, I didn't approve anything.
Really? Then why does this invoice say approved with your signature?
I meant I don't recall approving anything.
Nope, you said you never approved anything. No takesies, backsies. Oh my gosh, this guy thought there were takesies, backsies.
Can we, strike that from the record?
Oh yeah, let me just strike it from the... Everyone's already heard it, bro. So embarrassing. Oh, I needed that. But this is very clear tax fraud. You're going to jail. Never do this.
So basically, tell the truth, answer simple, yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor. That's basically it. Yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor. Just basically like, yes, sir, no, sir. And don't bring young kids in the playground. This is not a playground. I mean, we don't hear the. It's a distraction to the courtroom. And if that ever happens, you and your child will be held in contempt of court for distraction in the courtroom. Before we move on to Law by Mike, let's give you some more tips. Make sure you arrive early. Dress appropriately. Another thing, turn off your phone. Turn it off. I mean, we don't want to hear the whole. That was the iPhone. I don't know how to do that. No distractions. No phones. Keep all emotions in check. And be respectful to the judge. In fact, here's what not to say to a judge from these two clips.
Don't ever do this in front of a judge if you want to win your case. Number 1, interrupt the other party. Your Honor, my client was completely unaware of the defendant's business dealings.
He was too aware. I called him every night. He never picked up, but I left a lot of voicemails.
Counsel, this guy's got to chill. Wait until the judge asks you to speak, or wait until the other side finishes and asks for permission to speak. Number 2, planned speeches.
These men of commerce harbor intentions of my demise. Lo, 'twas thy hand that sanctioned their dominion. Tell me.
No, speak naturally. Planned speeches seem rehearsed. Trust your knowledge and be genuine in your responses. Methinks chicanery is afoot.
His rejoinders bear the mark of rehearsal. 'Tis a cause for suspicion.
Number 3, use profanity. How many timeshares did you sell before my client was aware that they were all in Nebraska?
You piece of mother. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Don't ever do this in front of a judge if you want.
Another thing, don't ever use profanity. Here's a second clip.
Don't ever say this to a judge. Number 1.
I want to state for the record, I'm already writing everything down, dude. Do you think I'm not listening? No, I think I don't know how to do my job. This is just important. Oh, so you're demanding I mark your words. Who do you think you are?
Number 2.
I'm going to appeal this decision.
Is that a threat?
No, it's a promise.
Do whatever you like. I'm not changing my decision. But if I ever see you back here, it's nice to know you're a petulant bird. Number 3. Sir, do you understand the terms of your sentence as they've been read to you?
Facts, we Gucci fam, no cap.
Is that a yes or what is that?
Well, on God, for.
No, you just have to say yes or no. But this, jail. Just take him to jail. Don't ever say this to a judge.
And that's what you never want to say to a judge. But there's more to this. Here's a third clip.
Don't ever do this to a judge. Number 1, imply they're incompetent.
Judge, it appears you did not read my papers.
You're saying I don't know how to do my job? Number 2, if you need something repeated, don't say this.
Huh? What?
Oh, this guy's gonna make me catch a case. You're in the judge's house. Act like it.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I did not hear what you said. Could you please repeat it?
And number 3. See, now that wasn't too hard, was it? See how a little politeness and good man?
Oh.
Did you just sigh at me?
Uh-oh.
Bailiff, hold me back. Jail. They're sentencing you to 100 years jail. 1,000,000 years jail. Forever jail. Don't ever do this to it. Don't ever do.
Sorry about that, guys. Don't be interrupting us with talking. Always refer to the judge as your honor, not dude, man, sir. Don't ever say dude, man. Don't ever sigh in front of a judge. Always refer to the judge as your honor. Stand up when the judge and jury have entered and leaving the courtroom, speaking slowly and moving so everyone can hear and understand you. Answering all questions respectively with yes, sir, no, ma'am. Yes, your honor. No, your honor. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When we were kids, we were all taught to respect our parents and our elders by saying yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. That's how we were taught. Answering questions respectfully with yes, sir, no, ma'am, and addressing the judge when answering questions, even if the opposing side asks the question, only answering the question you are asked. Don't be chewing gum in a courtroom. That's very distraction. No computers, games, recording devices, or any other disruptive electronic devices in the courtroom. With the media as the exception, they are allowed to bring cameras into the courtroom. Court TV is allowed to do so. Nope, don't be wearing shorts or tank tops or hats. Don't be wearing any sunglasses. No food or beverages in the courtroom. Imagine this. Your judge is trying to speak. Hold on a second. You're trying to eat as fast as you can. No eating in the courtroom. The courtroom has to be clean. We don't want to see any crumbs, bits of Coke, Sprite, chicken tenders, gravy. That's all going to be a big mess for the janitors to clean up. Nope, don't be interrupting the other side. Wait until it's your turn to speak and let the judge know you want to respond. Just basically wait your turn. And always enter and leave the courtroom quietly so you don't disturb others. Only approach the bench when you're instructed to. Don't ever just walk up to the bench without permission. Here's another reason. Well, here's another one we're not to say to a judge.
Don't ever do this to a judge. Number 1, imply they're incompetent. Judge,
Here's one.
Don't ever do this to a judge. Number 1, never stay seated when addressing the judge.
Look, dude, I didn't do it, alright?
Hey, number 2, never infer the judge's due. Only your honor, nothing else.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Counsel, keep your client in check. Please, you're making this so hard. Number 3, don't act out. The judge notices when you're being a temperamental jerk.
Alright, Mike, so what do you want?
Nothing. Number 4, never speak to the judge unless asked to. Let me do the talking otherwise. Your Honor, I don't like you or your client very much. I know. Don't ever do this to a judge. Number 1.
Okay. Here's more of what never to say to a judge, and then we're going to take a break.
Don't ever do this in court if you want to win your case. Number 1, don't interrupt.
Hold up, Judge, I'm gonna let you finish. But my lawyer had one of the best closing arguments of all time.
Interrupt the judge. You know I can make things difficult for you, right?
Whatever.
Number 2, spit out the gum and get off the phone. If you don't take this seriously, why should he take you seriously?
Well, you're seriously getting on my nerves, shoot boy. I want french fries.
Are you drunk?
There an officer with that problem?
Number 3, obviously don't ever be drunk or high. I'm gonna have to hold your client in contempt of court. Yeah, no, that's fair. Take him away. Don't ever do this in court if you want to win.
And here's one.
Never do this in front of a judge if you want to win your case. Number 1, don't be late.
Sorry, I'm late.
How nice of you to finally join us, tardy Tony.
What? Oh, his name's not Tony.
Number 2, what's that girl? The defendant's in the well? The well is the area between your desk and the judge. If you go there without permission, well... Number 3, don't be afraid to ask. Are you familiar with your rights under the 5th and 6th Amendments?
Yes.
This isn't a test. You can ask if you're unsure.
I was scared you'd call me a dum-dum.
No, there's no dum-dums here. Counsel, please go over your client's rights with me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
My pleasure. Jeez, what a dum-dum. Never do this in front of a judge if you want to win.
So if you don't understand it, just say, Your Honor, I don't understand it. Could you please repeat the rights? If you're with your lawyer, they can repeat your right. They can repeat your rights under the 5th and 6th Amendment. We're gonna have more of our Courtroom Etiquette 101 when our special Give Me a Break continues. Stay with us. If you're continuing to join us, we're continuing our special Give Me a Break all about Courtroom Etiquette 101. Basically, the do's and don'ts, what to wear and what not to wear when you're in court. So far, focusing on regular court systems or small claims courts, or regular courts that with jurors around. Now we're going to tell you what you can prepare for when you're in juvenile court. Juvenile court is for people who are under 18. So if you're under 18, so if you're like 15, 16, if you're like in the teen years, before you're 18, so like, did you say like 13, like 5 years before you're 18, or 14, 4 years, 3 years. Basically, juvenile court is to where you'll be in front of a juvenile judge. With a juvenile probation, there's a juvenile probation officer, there's a juvenile judge, and then there's juvenile jail. Take a look at this video from the state from the Ohio State Bar Foundation. They have a great tip sheet for those people who are having people who don't know how to prepare for their juvenile court hearing. And it could help your child out next time it's going to be a child's first time in the juvenile court hearing. Take a look.
A courtroom is a serious place, and it can be hard to know how to act when you're there. If you need to go to court, being prepared can make things a lot less confusing or scary. Going to court is an important event, so you need to treat the process and the people in court with respect. Being ready for court is a very smart thing to think about. If you watched our previous video, you know that for cases involving kids, there are usually 3 times you need to go to court: the arraignment, the trial, and the dispositional hearing. This video is about what you need to do before going to court and how to behave when you're there. Remember, it's okay to be nervous. Most people are. Your attorney can help you through the process and answer any questions. The tips I'm going to share will help you feel ready and less nervous. Sound good? Great, let's get started. It's really important to be on time for your hearing. Try to visit the courthouse a few days before your hearing so you know your way around and can avoid any surprises that would make you late. Here's what you can do before your court date to be prepared. If you're driving, find a place to park that's close to the courthouse. Walk from your car or the bus stop to the courthouse. Know how long it takes to get there. If possible, go inside the courthouse and find the room where your hearing will be held so you know exactly where it is. Make sure you know how long it takes to get to the courthouse and arrive in your courtroom. Give yourself extra time on the day of your hearing so you're there on time. On the day of your court hearing, you need to dress in a way that's suitable for court. Be sure that you wear a clean, neat outfit. Choose clothes that you might wear to an important family event, such as a wedding or to your place of worship, for example. Long pants, modest skirts, and shirts with no words or pictures are all good choices. People in court are expected to follow certain rules and act in a mature way. On the day of your hearings, keep these things in mind. The noise from cell phones is distracting to the judge and other people in the courtroom, so turn off your cell phone when you enter. If you like to chew gum, be sure to throw your gum away before your hearing. Eat before or after your hearing. It's not appropriate to eat in a courtroom, so make sure you're not hungry. Making a good impression on the judge and others in the court lets them see that you understand how important your hearing is. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Bring a book or magazine to keep you occupied until your hearing starts. Courtrooms are often busy, so your hearing may start later than scheduled. For some people, it can be hard to make eye contact. If someone speaks to you in the courtroom, do your best to look at them and listen to what they're saying. Try to be still and stay in your seat during your hearing. It shows that you're paying attention and being considerate to others. In some parts of a hearing, you may be asked to answer questions. If your attorney thinks that's necessary, he or she should help you to prepare. Ask to practice ahead of time when you're at your hearing. Remember, the judge wants to hear both sides and will give each side a chance to talk. So, wait until it's your turn to speak. If the judge asks you to speak, be sure to speak clearly and slowly. Your attorney will do most of the talking for you, but you may have to answer some questions. Talk with your attorney about whether you should tell your story. If your attorney wants you to tell your story in court, make sure that you and your attorney meet before the hearing to prepare, so your attorney can help you to know what to say. As mentioned earlier, you want to make a good impression on the judge. Sometimes you may hear something that doesn't seem right or fair, but you'll show maturity if you stay calm and answer questions politely. Ask questions at the right time. It's okay if you have questions or need more explanation about the words being used or what's happening in the courtroom. If you're confused or think it's important to ask your attorney a question during a hearing, quietly let your attorney know, or pass him or her a note. If the judge asks you if you understand what's going on, make sure that you tell the judge if you do not understand. It's okay to ask questions then too. You can also talk to your attorney before or after a hearing. It's not unusual to feel anxious or upset during a court hearing. So before your hearing, it's a really good idea to think of something that might calm you if you start to feel this way. You might bring a special small object with you that you can hold during the hearing. Ask your attorney or court personnel if it's okay to bring this object into the courtroom. You want to be sure it's allowed. If it's not, try to have another idea in mind. Another idea is to bring a picture of something that makes you feel calm and look at it when you need to. You can keep it in your pocket. If you feel like you need a break, tell your attorney. He or she will know when the time is right, or be able to request a break for you. If you sometimes have trouble telling people that you need to take a break, you can make a different plan before you go into the courtroom. For example, you could have a card to show your attorney, the judge, or court personnel saying that you need a break or are feeling anxious. Once you tell someone, the judge may give you some time to relax, collect your thoughts, or talk with your attorney. Being prepared for court hearings is important because the decision about your case can have a big effect on you and your life. But if you understand your rights and the court process, and you act with courtesy and respect, you're more likely to have an experience that you understand. Thanks for watching.
Now that we focus in on how to prepare for regular court, small claims/small claims court, and juvenile court, when we return, we're going to tell you you can prepare for truancy court, one of the school courts that the program has to help kids come back with attendance. Stay with us. Truancy court ain't no fun when you've been having 7 more excused absences, or been skipping a bunch of school like a lot of juveniles have. So if it's your first time, here's a clip. Here are some clips that may help you out here, and it's probably going to be a 2-parter. So let's show you a portion of what one judge is doing in the state of Texas.
Well, the one's working hard so things can keep running.
Right before all this. Now you may remember this judge. We may have taught you about this judge who's trying to send a lot of people to jail for skipping class. These kids have failed to do so, and because of that, those people went to jail. Let's show you a portion of it, and we're going to show you the whole thing in part 2, which will happen on Wednesday. I'll give you a sneak preview at the end of the broadcast.
Captain Moody, the precinct full conference officer. 2008, gives a fine, no longer to school. Since you have to pay the fine, you have community service. You also have additional licenses. You taking care of any of that?
I did my community service thing,
Let's say something, the 18th, December the 1st, 4th, 15th, 16th, January the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th, 28th, February the 2nd and 3rd. You have different reasons for missing those days. What do you got in school suspension for? Was that for missing school or other problems in school? I appreciate you getting your community service. And that was also part of the court order, and the most important part of it is attending school. And unless you can show me another reason, some of the other reasons you don't have, unfortunately for you, we received 2 items in Montgomery County Jail, and taking in custody service. Will not be as fast as that. Unfortunately, time to do it. They items.
That was just a portion of that video, which we're going to show you in our second part. Remember saying there's a part 2 to this? It's just basically all about truancy court, how to prepare. So basically, when you're in truancy court, you need to prepare to what's happening, because you have a lot more unexcused absence. You need to be prepared to what's going on. If after parent conferences you continue not doing this, they will then the deputy will go to your home, knock on your door, serve both the parents, the student, and any other person that may be involved in your school attendance. The state of Texas back in 2015 imposed a House Bill 2398, which got rid of the charge of failure to attend school. The charge did go away, but truant conduct may be prosecuted in truancy court. The allegation is truant conduct. The charge is truant conduct. You will not be entering plea of guilty or not guilty, no contest. You don't do those things. So to prepare, you will be your parents, and or any other person that's involved in your attendance will be in front of a judge. You will also have people from your school district, and you will have people from a non-organization like Bluebonnet Trails. Bluebonnet Trails is a program that will help out kids who have problems with keeping up with school. And in stricter states like Iowa is a stricter state to where if the kids don't go to school, then mom and dad can go to jail. That's what can happen here in the state of Iowa. Iowa is like a very strict. It's in Des Moines, Iowa. The city of Des Moines because the state of Iowa again, they have a very strict truancy policy where if you don't go to school, then the parents can go to jail, and the child can end up in foster care. So you have to be prepared by pressing the judge, wearing nice clothes, making sure that you know everything needs to know. If they will allow you to have an attorney present, then have an attorney with you. Have an attorney with you at present. That way you'll know. Also, if the parents will have a chance to speak, and then it'd be on the child to speak. When COVID hit, a lot of people were in truancy court because of their absences. Let's think of what happened 5 years ago when dozens of parents were in Judge Joe Benavides' courtroom.
That's why I love bourbon barbecue.
Excuse these ads.
Clean, simple, effective hair care. It's not a myth. It's native.
First, truancy.
It's a growing problem here in Nueces County.
And as the caseload for truant teens continues to grow, one local judge is trying to help those teens and lighten the docket by offering truancy night court. Chris 6 News anchor Priscilla Torres was in the courtroom today. Priscilla, tell us more about how this night court is going to work.
Well, Steph, it's exactly that. Court offered in the evening so that parents and their teens can attend. The judge says he's noticed a problem with not only students not showing up to school, but parents unable to show up to court because of work. And truancy night court is his way to fix that. A full courtroom and waiting area as parents and their teen listen for their name to be called by Judge Joe Benavidez.
16 years old. Today she has 324. Actually, 358 unexcused class periods.
Teen after teen, ranging in ages from 14 to 17 years old, Judge Benavidez heard each case, asking the teen why they've been missing so much school.
Who takes you to school?
My dad and my stepmom and my grandma.
So why are you late? Why are you tardy and stuff like that?
I just don't like to go to school.
He also asked the parents what they're doing to get their kids back on track.
Dad, you got anything to say?
Here's school starts. She chooses go late, skip, and we try talking to her. We've done so much, and she just continues to do this on her own.
Judge Benavidez says he's found truancy issues stem from being bullied in school, drugs, peer pressure, and gang-related activities. And tonight, by speaking to the parents and their teen, he hopes to have the teen return to school, get their GED, or graduate.
So you come back and tell me, look, Judge, I did everything, so I'll reconsider everything else, you understand? But you got the balls to know, you understand? The court order.
The next night court session will be held Tuesday, May the 22nd. It begins at 5 p.m. Steph?
Okay, hopefully that works. Thank you, Priscilla.
It will work. So when you're prepared, you got to make sure that you know what you're doing. If you tell the judge, hey, I'd like to have an attorney present, or if they're truancy court allowed to have that happen, just ask the school if it don't happen, or you can ask the judge questions. Talk to a truancy judge in your county or in your state and ask questions. That way you can know. Write everything down. That way you can remember. Hire an attorney just in case. If you have your own attorney that you've had for years, make sure that he or she is eligible for truancy court. Before you hire them, write down a list of questions that you have for that attorney that you're going to hire for your case. That way you know what kind of case, what kind of courts that the attorneys are allowed to case in, like small claims court, regular court, juvenile court, truancy court. It's all that can happen. And as we heard from the Honorable Melissa Buchanan, because juvenile delinquency always starts with all this. So let's take a look from KCMO Municipal Court.
Sonic Trick or Treat Blasts.
There are 180 days in the school year. If you miss more than 10%, you or your family may find yourselves in truancy court.
The goal of truancy court is to ensure that students between the ages of 7 and 17 are in school. After all, it's the law.
If the family needs access to services, the court will make that connection.
If the student is still not attending school, the parent may receive up to a $500 citation.
But is $500 really worth your student's future? Let's do the math.
Studies show that one incident of truancy can increase the likelihood of dropping out by 7 times.
A high school dropout will earn $200,000 less than a high school graduate over his or her lifetime.
High school dropouts commit about 75% of crime. So I, Judge Bland,
I, Judge Corey Carter, want to ask you, what is your time worth spending on?
It's statistics. As a matter of fact, if your child drops out of school, it's 7 times higher. So therefore, they create truancy court as a way of teaching youngsters that if you don't go to school, this is what can happen to you. Juvenile rates go up, school attendance go down, juvenile delinquency goes up, the kids are in jail, nobody gets their diploma. If your child does not graduate, here's this. They have higher odds of living in poverty and higher odds of getting full-time jobs. You think I'm making this up? Well, take a look at this clip.
We all hope that our kids stay in school, but sometimes it takes the Kern County High School District to make sure of it. 23 ABC's Lauren Etlinger took a ride with officers today as they went door to door getting answers.
3 Kern County police departments teamed up and set out to talk to students who miss school on a consistent basis and find out why.
Are those for prescriptions?
Yeah. In order to increase school attendance and decrease juvenile delinquency.
As a senior, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of, you're losing a lot of things as you go. So you don't mess up that year, man.
When kids are not in school, then statistics show that they're participating in negative behaviors.
Police!
And Develia says there are long-term consequences if they don't graduate.
They have higher odds of living in poverty, and the odds of them getting full-time jobs are much more difficult.
Police say families should keep a close eye on their kids to make sure they're going to classes.
And now parents actually have the option of tracking their students' attendance online or on their smartphone.
But along with the ease of tracking your child, there's also social media, something most kids use today to warn others that a sweep was on. But even so, some parents still defended their kids' absences.
But he is there, I guarantee it.
We're having some technical difficulties here. Yeah, we are having some technical difficulties here, but I can assure you that now y'all understand what.
Because he don't lie to his parents.
Oh, there we go.
He don't get in trouble. He's not one of these hoodlums that are out smoking dope.
Bottom line, kids,
The best place for students is in school all day, every day.
I'm Lauren Etlinger.
We will need a TV camera because I'll take it all the way.
23 ABC.
And if a student is guilty of truancy, it can mean fines, suspended licenses, and or juvenile hall. As for the parents, they can face revoked welfare benefits and even jail time.
That's the bottom line. If your child does not go to school, juvenile delinquency can happen. Juvenile hall, parents, jail time. More of our Courtroom Etiquette when we come back with truancy court, and one judge who decides to throw in the towel, throw him in jail for 72 hours. Stay with us. We all go to a fast food restaurant and think about what we want. But imagine hearing some freak out saying, "Oh, give my money back, don't send this and this," getting angry because it goes to the food you didn't get. Take a look from no particular of these fast food freakouts. Just a small portion.
Are you happy now? Are you happy? You see how upset I am? Coming in here being nasty to me. Oh my God, here, take $7. Here, you know what? I don't even care. Just take it all. Take it the fuck off. Here.
Good language. Good language.
I quit, lady.
Good language.
I quit. Somebody call Diane right now. I'm going to kill myself. I swear to God, I'm done. I am done. I hope you're happy, lady.
I am.
Record this.
I am recording it. I am recording it. I am.
I'm
Good.
going to kill myself.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're a prick.
Okay.
Put your hands off me.
Fuck out of here.
What's your name? The owner? This is what the owner in Concord Subway does to his customers who have legitimate complaints. And that's the one that got it started right there, that girl right there.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you really want to go there?
You got it started.
I don't think you do. I think you need to just get the fuck out like he told you to.
Yeah, we are, right now.
Oh, because nothing's your way. Get out.
That ain't nothing my way. It's nothing the way you're serving it. Get out. Right there. That's what they said they served. That's what they served. Salt on the floor.
Hey. Hey. Get out of the way. Somebody better not hit me.
Stop. I think y'all get the picture here, but we don't. Stop. I think y'all get the picture here, but common sense needs to tell you. No filming and intervene. We don't need to see all these. Everyone just sits there and says, "I'm not getting a film. I'm gonna get on my phone and start filming. I'm gonna have like 1 million views on TikTok, whatever." Okay, well, they may tell you to delete it. They tell you to delete it. They don't want their name on the Instagram or whatever. They were trying to run a business here, not a freaking show. I mean, I've had that happen one time. It happened today. It happened today when I was at work. Some guy was all like yelling, saying this and this. I want money like this and this. When he should have just done it calmly. Now, if he had done it calmly, we would not be in this situation. Give me a break. We'll do more about fast food guys, but that's gonna be another show. That's another show. We'll have that for you next week. That way you guys can understand what it's like. Well, we're now out of time for our courtroom etiquette special. We're gonna conclude with a part 2 on Friday. I mean, not Friday. We're gonna do it on Wednesday with more truancy court and one judge who basically had enough, who didn't have any choice but to throw the book at them and send them to jail. It was one student. Wait to see what happens who sends all the rest to jail. And here are the reasons why. You saw a sneak peek. So have you work. So don't miss this courtroom etiquette. If you're going to court, just make sure you understand this. This is part 1. And be sure to look out for part 2 on Wednesday. Coming up on Friday, the story of Father James Porter, who sexually molested all these kids during his time in the Catholic Church. Why did anyone come forward? You will meet someone who came forward, told his side of the story with audio recordings from one person. That's on Friday. That's Give Me a Break for this Monday going to Tuesday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break on Wednesday. For all of us here at YouTube. Good night, everyone.